Hello, boys and girls. Happy Wednesday, April 29th, 2020. We're going to talk some more about math today because we're about ready to take the test for our math multiplication chapter 21. So today we're going to be looking at pages 425 and 426. I think you'll find this PowerPoint to be pretty short because you're going to get ready to take the test. The test is today. This is just a little tiny bit of review. Okay, so you should have page numbers 425, 426 ready to go, and we will be looking at those problems. There's not very many on the page, and a couple of them on page 426 we're not going to do all together. So, first of all, the concept of arrays. Remember, the important thing is rows go from left to right, and those are your equal groups. We've talked a lot about equal groups, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at those now. It says, fill in the array, find each product. A very important concept on the test today is understanding what the word product means. Remember, a product is the answer in a multiplication problem. The sum is the answer in an addition problem. Very important. So 3 rows of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because 5 is our equal groups. 5 is the number in each equal group. 3 rows means 3 equal groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to do to figure out the answer to that, I'm going to skip count by 5. 5, 10, 15. So 3 equal groups of 5 is 15. Now I know the product is going to be the same, but now I'm going to have 5 rows of 3. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 5 rows of 3 is also going to be 15. 7 groups of 2. So notice there in that array right there, there are 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer, if I were looking for the sum, I would have 7 plus 7, and the answer is 14. But if I wanted the product, I would have 7 times 2, and that would also be 14. Okay, once again, we have a beautiful array here. We have 8 equal groups of 5. And it says here, write how many in all. Then write the multiplication sentence. So 8 groups of 5. I happen to know it's an even number times 5. It's got to end in a 0. 8 times 5 is 40. So we have 8 equal groups of 5, and the answer is 40. And then here we have multiplication by 10. So write how many tens, and then multiply. So I'm going to count each equal group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 sets of 10, or 6 equal groups of 10. 6 times 10, 60. The ceiling is made up of 6 rows. I love that they put rows because we know rows are the equal groups of 5 tiles each. How many tiles are in the ceiling? Well, I'm going to write my math multiplication sentence, 6 equal groups of 5, and my answer is 30. Okay, this still has videos there about strategies for multiplication. If you watched them yesterday, those are the same videos, so you don't have to. I have a new special little treat on the next slide in terms of a video for you to look at. Okay, so this is the last page of this chapter. Right here. And it starts right off asking about fractions. Well, we didn't study the chapter on fractions. We do have that coming. But it says, what is 1/5 of 10? Now, here's the nice thing. I know that 5 fits into 10 2 times. And so that's just a little hint, but 1/5 of 5 is 2. And that's actually a little preview of division, because if I took the number 10 and put it into sets of 2, right, I would have 5 of them. So each one of those is 1/5. Watch. Here's a 5th. Here's a 5th. Here's a 5th. Here's a 5th. And there's a 5th. Okay? I'm just explaining that one. You can leave it blank if you want. We haven't taught that to you yet. It's up to you. Okay, another one that we haven't really learned yet is time. Now the good news is we're going to be studying time next week. Or the week after. Not sure. How many hours have passed between the 2 times? Now, I was speaking to someone yesterday about how do we know what's the hour hand and what is the minute hand. And I said, the way that I've always taught it, if we took the word hour, that's a pretty short word. It only has 4 letters. Whereas, if we took the word minute, it's a longer word. It has 6 letters. So the way that I taught students how to remember it was I said the shorter hand is for the shorter word. Minute is a longer word, and so it gets the longer hand. Hour is a shorter word. It gets the shorter hand. So here we know that this is 3 o'clock because the hour hand is pointing to the 3. This one, however, is 7 o'clock because the hour hand is pointing to the 7. And what we're going to be learning when we talk about time is that when the minute hand is on the 12, that means it's a complete hour. So 3 o'clock compared to 7 o'clock, I can count up from 3 to 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My answer is 4. Which multiplication fact do the cubes show? Now, be careful on this because sometimes on the towers are worth 10, and these are only 5. We can count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 in each column, and we have 4 of these cube pieces. And so we have 4 sets of 5, I believe, which would be this one. Or another way of saying that, the products would be 20. So we could say we have 20 cubes. Which addition sentence has the same sum as the product of this multiplication sentence? So 4 equal sets of 2, we know is 8. So which one of these addition sentences adds up to 8? And what I've always told students is, just look at the answer. The very first one, the answer is 8. Now I'm going to check and make sure they added correctly. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So they're just trying to remind you that 4 sets of 2 is 8. And we know you can write it that way, or you can write it that way. Okay, the most important thing about this test, it doesn't look super hard, but you do need to remember the difference between the word sum, which is the answer in an addition problem, and the word product, which is the answer in a multiplication problem. So you might want to, maybe on the very first page, write that down just as a reminder. Product equals answer in a times problem or multiplication problem. Multiplication is kind of a long word. What you could do is you could just write a multiplication problem, put a little arrow to the answer, and write the word product. And then sum, put an addition problem, put a little arrow to the answer, and write the word sum. So now I'm going to see who's listening to the videos and who wants to have some extra credit and really writes those two things, because I promise you, you will get 1 point of extra credit just for that. Okay, so we're going to look at the very last slide on this PowerPoint, and it's just a little reminder about the test and a little preview. So, every teacher always wants you to do this. It says go back and check your test again. Now, that does not mean that you have to redo every problem. No one expects you to do that, okay? I do expect you to do these 4 things, and I was kind of surprised when I got back your test 12s and 13s that I had a lot of people that didn't do this. I had some people who skipped 4 problems in a row. Some people skipped an entire page, and sometimes I just had to mark that wrong, because when you get into 3rd grade, they're going to expect you to answer every problem. So did you circle an answer for each and every problem? Did you accidentally skip an entire page? We admit it's an accident. But especially right now, if you turn that in, I need to work hard to find out what you really wanted those answers to be. Did you show your work? You know what? If you showed your work on every single problem, it's not that hard to check it over and see which ones I might have skipped because there's no work. Did you write your name on your paper? That's very important. Now, for those of you who might want a little preview of the chapter that's next, this right here is a video all about the relationship between multiplication and division. And it'll probably be on the slide when we start our division chapter tomorrow. So you might as well take a look at it, just get a little insights, and it might actually be fun to do after this test. Okay? Do your best on your test. Pray. Ask God to help you. Pray. Ask God to bless your teacher as she's grading your paper. And we'll just hope for the best. And as long as you did your best, you're fine.